Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to a new kind of league dev kind of discussion. I love doing these. They're actually some of my favorite videos. Today, we are covering the updated honor rewards. So we'll talk about the rewards, but also let's talk about the honor system in general. I don't know if what they cover, we're going to go through the article, but this to me is kind of a leaping point that we can talk about honor rewards and do I feel the honor system is good enough and what could be better? Because League as a whole is still a fairly toxic place. And a lot of the conversation when it comes to League's toxicity is about trying to control toxicity or trying to punish toxicity. But I do think there is the other side to the coin of you shouldn't always try to just punish bad. And sure, that's part of it. But you also should reward good. Or if not rewarding good, at least in League of Legends terms, being neutral, is kind of okay. So let's get into it. So updated honor awards, introducing the 3 honors skin line. So I don't know if this is kind of like the living tribunal in Marvel. Kind of might seem that way, but we'll see. So, hey players, Tim Tam Monster, your product lead for behavioral systems, here with an exciting update. Last we talked, I kicked off our new approach to behavioral systems, shifting our focus to the 95% of players who are occasionally disruptive, which again, 95% of players who are occasionally disruptive is quite a lot. I think that might, by the way, that's not 95% of the player base is occasionally disruptive. I don't think that's what they're saying. It's just there's within the disruptive players, let's say that's 10% of the player base, 95% of those are occasionally doing it. It's the 5% of the hardcore toxic people. I think that's kind of what it's saying. But anyway. Though the vast majority of players usually behave well, the occasional times that they do act out make up the bulk of player reports. So yeah, the majority of the time that your mid laner is raging or whatever, it's a normal player, believe it or not, who is just having a bad day or having a bad time or their mental has just gone a bit boom when normally it's fine. That's what RIOT is saying. It's very rare for it to actually be a crazy toxic individual. They do exist, we all know they do, but majority of the time that is in most of your games, the disruptive player is someone that's just having a bad time occasionally or acting out occasionally. So at the same time, there's a lot that we've been surprised by and we are continuing to learn to apply to future updates. So, oh wait, I missed this bit. So through the vast majority of players as well, the occasional stuff. So far, we've seen a lot of success in this approach, more than you might think, given we haven't been particularly loud about the changes we've been making. At the same time, there's a lot that we've been surprised by, and we are continuing to learn. So what I would say about behavioral stuff, and this is something that it is worth saying, you don't, in my opinion, you wouldn't want to be completely vocal about all the things you're putting into place to punish people or catch people out. Because the people that are toxic are just going to go, oh, they're literally telling me, don't do that. But there's a loophole here and I'll do that. Like, you don't always want to kind of say that information, but, recent changes. So with honor recall, which I will say was pretty cool. Again, I'm on a level 5 on my main Huzzy account and having the honor recall, I would say it's a nice thing. Is it something that I'm going to shout and scream and be incredibly happy about? No, not really, but it's cool, and you do, there's that little, at least for me, and I don't know about you, but if I've got a teammate that also has the honor recall, the honor 5 recall especially, there's that little acknowledgement of, hey, he's got it too. Like, that does exist, and maybe people would want that. But anyway, players are able to celebrate their hard-earned honorable behavior in game. As a result, we've seen improvements in sentiment on player behavior, particularly in a positive behavior experienced in games. Yet we didn't see a change in the way players use honor, which we expected. We know players sometimes use honor to reward good play rather than good behavior, which is definitely true. Like I've always said to people, or the better way to say it is I've had games that I've thrown up on YouTube and we get carried by a guy who's playing, let's say, Kane, and they go 20-2, they carry the game, but they're really toxic. I won't honor that person, and that is correct. If they're toxic, they're not honorable. But I literally, in those comment section, I occasionally will have people going, why didn't you honor the Kane? He carried you. Because some people think honor and gameplay go hand in hand. That's the point. It doesn't. Gameplay is separate to honor. Honor is not being toxic, but if you're toxic but fed, well, you can't get honored in my opinion, or you shouldn't be honored in my opinion. And that's what Riot is saying is, oh, people kind of put the toxic to the side. You carried me. I'll give you an honor. Thanks for the win, bud. Doesn't matter, you're toxic. Riot don't want that. They want honor to be its own thing. But anyway, yeah, so we know players sometimes. We were hoping that with a clearer link between the system and the reward, players would be encouraged to use it in a way to show their appreciation of good behavior. The only problem, and maybe they're about to say here, is ultimately, it sounds really weird. If someone's really nice to you in a game of solo queue, but you lose the game, you don't really care they were nice to you because you lost. Like, maybe you're like, oh, you know, that person was nice, great. But ultimately, you want to see the victory. You know, I'll even admit, majority of the time that I lose a game of League, I won't even think about honor. I'll just skip the honor thing at the end of the game. It's mentally out of my head. So, I don't know, maybe that needs to be adjusted in all of us. But our hypothesis is that players have been more inclined to behave positively, to receive the recall. But because the reward isn't directly tied to how a player honors others, honoring behavior hasn't changed at all, which that makes sense to me. With opt-in end of game chat, players aren't exposed to chat unless they want to be. It's worth knowing I do still click on that occasionally just to see. I have not seen anybody use that chat since they implemented that whole thing. Like, end of game chat, they may as well just get rid of. It's not a thing anymore. And, you know, that is something, you know, people will say, or Riot even will say, oh, toxicity's down. You know, hey, we're doing better. It's what we've always said. And I know I'm not the only person that said it, is Riot doesn't really fix toxicity. They never really have. They do band-aid solutions. And I will say, it's nearly an impossible task to fix toxicity online. Unfortunately, it's the world we live in. I do wish people could be nice, or at least neutral to people, but there are always people out there that want their pain on others, or whatever it may be. And it's sad, but it's true. And I don't know, like, the fact that all chat now is off by default. Like, literally, you make a new League account, all chat is off. So most new players coming to League will not even know there's an all chat. Most people that I know, a lot of people are not even using team chat. So yes, toxicity's down. Amazing. Yeah, because there's no chat in League anymore, practically. Is that a good thing? Again, it's up to you to determine if that's a good thing or not. For me, it's much of a muchness. I never really use the chat much anyway. I don't play League of Legends to type to people. I play League of Legends to play the game. So for me, it hasn't really impacted it. The only positive that I get is I don't see that toxicity anymore, but I do feel like it's still there. It's not that I feel like it's gone away. You can kind of tell, even with chat off, who are toxic people on your team. It's pretty obvious most of the time. Anyway, we had worried that this may result in players not communicating at all at the end of game, even if they wanted to, but we've seen similar numbers of players using end of game chat, so players who want to communicate are still doing it, so with the added bonus of not requiring others to get involved if they don't want to. So basically, what that says to me, right? So people be like, how? You know, in my games, I see nothing. Yeah. So what this is saying is the numbers haven't changed that much. So people that want to type at the end of the game are still typing, and people like me who never used it are not using it because we never did in the first place. So generally, the players who are a bit outspoken, or who, you know, potentially want to rub it in their opponent's face that they won, or they want to type to the enemy team saying, look how bad my team was, those people are still going to type. That's what they're going to do. Even if no one is listening, even if nobody is seeing it, they will still type that in the end of screen lobby because that's what they're like. That kind of makes sense to me. So yes, the numbers, people are still using it, people are still talking, but again, I would imagine they're the people that most of us don't want to even see anyway. So yeah. Next up is updated honor rewards. So again, we can kind of get a spoiler here, right here, but what I would say is I think way back when, even maybe of the previous, I had the idea of making a new skin line called like the Honorable, and you could do like the Honorable Poppy and make her like a judge. That was like an idea that I had, but I did kind of reflect on that, thinking if you don't play Poppy, then you don't really care. And we're going to get into this in a second, but I ultimately think that's the same thing, what's going to happen here. is previously for getting on a 5, you got Medieval Twitch and something Warwick. It might even be Medieval Warwick, but I don't know. Grey Warwick, it might have been. It was those two skins. And I've always said, but if you don't play Twitch and you don't play Warwick, you really don't care, like, at all. And I unfortunately think that's going to be the same thing with this Mal skin. I don't know if, like, it would be better to have, like, I don't know, like, you know, Riot can't make a 3 honors skin to every single champion in the game, and then you can pick each season which one you want. Ultimately, that would be amazing, because then everyone knows, oh, that's the 3 honor one, that's for being honorable, and they picked it for their Darius, or they picked it for their Malzahar, or they picked it for their Anivia. That would be the ultimate version, because then everybody is incentivized, because they could pick something that works for them. They pick a champion that they play. But we'll see. So you've told us more times than I can count the rewards for reaching the highest level of honor are stale. As promised in my last post, I'm thrilled to share the 3 honors skin line, and it's 2022 entrant 3 honors Malzahar. So to me, there definitely is like a living tribunal kind of thing going on. Like, for those that don't know, in the Marvel kind of world, the living tribunal is, you know, the judge, jury, executioner partially in some way. If you watch the series Loki, you'll kind of know a little bit about them. They're the figurehead of judgment in the MCU and Marvel. And yeah, this kind of looks like it, because that has 3 different heads looking out, and, you know, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So I don't know if this is a bit of a nod to the living tribunal in a way. But yeah, I'll say I play Malzahar very occasionally. It looks like a cool skin, I'm not gonna lie, it's cool, but it's cool, and I'll play it, and I'll use this skin. You know, I'm on a level 5 already on the Huzzy account, so I'll get this skin, I presume. But for you watching right now, who's a top lane main, or an AD carry main, or a support main, are you really going to care about this? No. And that in lies the exact same problem that Grey Warwick and Medieval Twitch had. So we also wanted to touch on other awards for you to get honor. Historically, we added a new chroma to Medieval Twitch and Grey Warwick skins each year for players to choose from when they reach honor level 5. The 3 honor skin line is replacing these new chromas. Honor 5 capsules will still contain the token for Twitch and Warwick all their previous chroma. Why? Like, I don't get it. Like, again, for those that don't know, from my memory, Twitch, why did Riot pick those 2 skins? Just first and foremost, way back when they first made honor, why was it Grey Warwick? Why was it Medieval Twitch? These were, if my memory serves correctly, the recruit a friend rewards way back at the beginning of League of Legends. So if you hit something like 100 recruiter friends, you got Grey Warwick, you got Medieval Twitch, and they were incredibly rare skins. You know, really rare skins, because it was hard to recruit that many people. I got them. Obviously, it helped being a YouTuber. But that's what those were. So when Riot made the honor system, whenever it was, season 4, 5, or whenever it was, they were like, we need some skins maybe as rewards. Bam, the 2 really underused Grey Warwick and Medieval Twitch. So for people like me, it really devalued having these skins originally. But for people that always wanted them but couldn't recruit 100 people or whatever it was pretty cool. So I don't know, it's a bit weird. But how is honor calculated? So this is actually quite an interesting thing. Some people always ask, like, how is it actually calculated? And hopefully you guys are enjoying this. If you are, please do throw a like on it. I do like covering more dev kind of topics. So we know honor is a relatively opaque system, and it can be hard to know how well you're progressing towards the next checkpoint. This is intentional, because making honor too transparent, completable, draws focus away from positive behavior as a mentality, and instead of gamifying or min-maxing the reward system it's attached to. Yeah, it makes sense. Rather than creating a feature that would allow you directly track and gamify your honor progress, I wanted to provide some insight on how we calculate it to your journey to honor 5. So I will just say, as I've said a few times, I'm already on a level 5 on the Huzzy account. Just to put it very plainly, I've played around, I don't know, 500 games or so of solo queue on the main, on the Huzzy account this year. Obviously making it up to a pretty decent rank. But I have not used chat once in, well, pretty much at all during the whole season. So I don't really type. I don't look at chat. I just play my game and use the ping system. That is That is me playing League. I don't use chat. I don't use really pre-game chat much at all. I don't use the end chat at all. And then I would say if I played roughly 500 games, I probably have used chat 2 to 3 times, I would say. Like, I'm not even kidding. And most of the time it's because I've played an ARAM, and sometimes when I play an ARAM, I'll unmute my chat, especially that if I'm in a champ select in an ARAM, and sometimes occasionally people go, oh Huz, I watch your videos, or I used to watch your videos. I'll put the chat on just in case they wanted to talk to me during the ARAM, and then I'll forget to put the mutes back on when I go play solo queue the next day. That's typically what happens. So, and then what I'll do, and it's happened a few times, of like, oh, I'll leave it on until something toxic happens, and then like 20 minutes later, well, time to get rid of the chat again. Like, that's literally what's happened. So I can get on a level 5 without using chat. It means, like, that's the point. It's not looking at chat. I'm pretty sure most of the time it's looking at, maybe, again, we might see here, but it's looking, if you get honored, obviously as a big one, who's honoring you, how many times you honored, but it might even, and I don't know, maybe it looks if you're reported a lot. I don't know, but we'll see. So, let's see. Honor progresses per game, gets faster the more consistently positive you are. The rare slip-up won't kill your momentum, but flip-flopping between negative and positive behavior will slow you down a lot. Okay. In addition, if everyone on your team honors somebody, each of you gets an extra increase to your honor score. Even if you weren't directly honored, the best League games are ones that all 5 teammates are having fun. So if you see an ally struggling to stay positive, help them out. Again, that would mean using chat, and that's something that a lot of us don't really want to do. Because ultimately, a lot of us unfortunately feel like it doesn't help. But anyway, lesser known fact, you receive extra honor from match-made teammates over pre-made teammates. I knew that. This is to prevent honor trading between friends from being the dominant way to progress through honor. So yeah, if you play with your friends all the time and you just honor each other, you're not actually earning as much as a normal honor would. Again, I thought that was actually quite well known, but maybe it's not anymore. I'm pretty sure they announced that when the honor system was created. So yeah, I definitely knew that. Finally, game mode also impacts the amount of honor you receive. So rank solo queue and flex queue are the same level. Then normals, ARAM, and event modes are the same level, and then co-op versus AI are the bottom level. This reflects the stakes, as well as the amount of social interaction each queue offers. So the ranked queues have the most stakes because there's the most rating. You know, your rating is on offer. I know some people might go, you know, technically solo should be above flex, but just reminding everybody, Riot is trying to make flex more serious. They're trying to bring it to the level of solo. That was all part of like why they might get rid of duo and move duo to flex queue. Like, that's all there. They want to try and elevate flex queue to solo, so that doesn't surprise me. It's the same level. Normals and ARAMs and event modes, I don't know, like, I wouldn't put all 3 of those at the same level per se. I would put event modes definitely less. Like, hell, I would put normal games above ARAM and then ARAM above event modes, if I'm completely honest. Because normals is, for some people, it's their main mode. It's their training grounds for ranked. They do take it seriously, you know, that it is not completely just complete fun and games. That's what some people play. ARAMs, I know there's a big dedicated ARAM community, and I get that, but it's not like a ranked mode in a way, and it's not like a normal Summoner Rift game that it might be kind of the training ground to ranked mode eventually, in a way. And then event modes, yeah, event modes to me, they're the really kind of casual thing. They should be, if you want to put normals and ARAM together, I'm fine with that, but I think event modes should be a bit lower, but it is what it is. So next up is behaviors that negatively affect your honor score. Whether or not you get punished for behavior we detect, or detected disruptive behavior will impact honor. The impact can result in a decrease in your honor level, a slowing in your honor progression, or both. The more severe the behavior, the more it will impact your score. So yeah, if you are, I think, like temporary banned or something, your honor level literally gets reset, and there is even like you can't really go up in honor for the rest of the season. So you can't get honor awards or whatever it may be. I think that's kind of a thing, but they've not really mentioned it here. And then looking forward. So we're working on exciting updates that will allow us to evaluate text live in game. Whoa. Preventing you from being exposed to the detected inappropriate text and muting players for the rest of the game. I mean, we can already mute, but sure. We are also finally going to be adding the ability to report players in game. Wow. As soon as the disruptive behavior happens, we'll be adding pre-made chat channel, allowing you to maintain a communication with those you selected in your team without needing to be exposed to potentially disruptive chat by a random teammate. Oh, interesting. So just give the random example. You play flex mode, but you're not on comms, you're not on Discord chatting to people, but you play as a 3. You could have a chat in League just of you 3 and not including the other 2. Kind of interesting in a way. And we're working on improving your ability to play again with those you've enjoyed playing with in the past by providing easy ways to create parties of players you've honored or have honored you. Oh, that's kind of nice. That's the more like community aspect. I actually kind of like that. That's cool. Because I don't know if it happens anymore. Like, you guys will have to let me know. Back in my day, and yes, I'm old. Back in the World of Warcraft days, or even the early League days, you'd play a day, like, let's say it's a Saturday, and you're playing World of Warcraft, you're playing League, and you start queuing up. You'd be a bit chatty to those people, and you'd go, do you want to do another one? And you'd say yes. And you could literally be playing with the same people the whole day, but they're random. Like, you just met them in the first match of the day. Like, that was a thing. I don't think that's a thing anymore, unfortunately. I think the internet has got a bit too, I don't know, not friendly or not community minded. Like, that's, I don't know, like, part of it is that, I think. But anyway, we are committed to continue improving this space for all of you. We know how crucial it is to your League experience. You've told us so much. And to all of you who looked to my call to action in my last post, I want to personally say thank you. Staying calm can be hard, and it may not feel like it makes a difference each game, but on a wider scale, over time, it does. We've seen slow but steady improvement in recent times, and in making a real impact on this community we're all a part of. Thank you for coming on this journey together with us. The only thing that I will add to this as a content creator is people don't sometimes realize what they say impacts people in a certain way. Is I've seen both sides. I've seen people be incredibly joyful, and I can see in my own community that some people are struggling, you know, and the community bands together and the community is there for them, and that is such an amazing and a positive thing. And even people just saying hi to each other, that can make someone's day, that can make the difference, and that's a good thing, and it's amazing. But then there's the other part that I've seen it all as a content creator. I've experienced things that, you know, you guys don't even imagine, and it's not nice. And I can speak, it does affect me. It does affect everyone. It's not great. And for the most part, I think where a lot of that comes from, I don't think it's people actively wanting to be malicious. I think it's more people who are not having a good time. They sometimes don't realize what they're putting into the world, or what they're saying to somebody is not nice, or it's weird, but they don't realize the pain it can cause. And I know this sounds pretty over the top, but it's the same for League. We don't know what people are going through. You don't know what people are going through. That person in top lane that's, yes, is 0-6 in 15 minutes in your game, yeah, they might not be having a good time in life, and maybe they're not dealing with it well, and maybe that's why they're not playing very well. And you going at them in chat, or you going at them toxic wise, pushes people into not a great place. And I know it affects your video game, and it might affect your rank, but ultimately it is a video game. And that's what I think sometimes people do forget. But anyway, sorry on the sappy note, but yeah, it's just, I've been in a bit of a weird place mentally myself recently, so this kind of whole topic rings true in my head a bit. But it's nice that Riot is trying to work on things. Personally, and again, you guys can let me know, I'm still not 100% convinced that people are going to care about an individual skin. Because for me, I'm like, oh, it's cool, but I play Mal's a bit. But if you don't play Mal's, or again, Mal's is not the most popular champion, people aren't going to be incentivized to do better for a Malzahar skin. That's the problem that I think exists. Like, if they said, hey, you get the Malzahar skin and you get a skin redemption for like a epic skin or something, people might care more. And that doesn't cost Riot. Well, it does cost them a lot if you think about it, but like those, you know, are people going to always buy skins? Probably not. But I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you think about all the topic. I love doing these kind of dev videos. If you guys did enjoy it, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Crawl down the
dark regime.